Hey everybody, it's Wisp. I'm coming slightly late, we'll say, for CYL7. Choose Your Legend 7 has been revealed. The full results are out, and I was taking a little bit of extra time because I actually wanted to go pretty deep into the results, not just, say the four winners. I've got thoughts. I've got some actual thoughts here. So that's that. Here we are. But okay. So the four winners, as always, will have special outfits, and Robin did it. He's not surprising. I think that after Crom won, it was pretty obvious that Crom was going to get, or that Crom votes were going to go to Robin, and typically people prefer male Robin to female Robin, so male Robin got more of that kickback than female did. Gulvag is, a lot of people talked about it and joked like, oh, what if she did? And I'm not saying she's only in as a joke. Like, people voted for her because they like her for whatever their reasons are. But that one's surprising. I don't think anyone was actually expecting Gulvag to win, especially not first place women's division. Soren and Corin, both of them have been performing exceptionally throughout CYL, so neither of them are really surprising. I also think that after Soren got 4th place without any sort of rallying, he was 4th place last year for the men's side. I felt like it was very likely that he was going to make it to 1st or 2nd because now people know. Like, if you wanted a Tellius rep, you're like, okay, well, Soren's the one. So neither of those two are surprising at all to me. I do really feel bad for Felix fans and Bernadetta fans because they have both been 3rd place or 4th place consistently throughout CYL ever since CYL 4. Well, Felix was a little bit lower at first because, honestly, his main thing is that there were 2 male lords and Bernadette only had 1 female lord, but Felix has been top tier just as well as Bernadetta. And for Felix, Bernadetta has had a couple ults. For Felix, one of his big things is that his base version's not in, so you don't have Felix with a sword. He doesn't have a legendary, right? The lords got their legendary ults. He doesn't have that. And it's pretty new, but he doesn't have an ascendant. So neither his base unit, his time skip unit, nor his 3 hopes, kind of different time skip unit, are in. And this was a huge rally for him. People were really excited to try to get him a Brave ult because then he might be like Mortal Savant or something like that, but he would definitely be in his time skip design. Now he has to survive until next year, which is probably going to be kind of overrun by Engage. Maybe not, because Engage isn't performing as well as 3 houses, but his shot is a lot lower. And then he has to survive a year after that if he doesn't get in. And I think he might lose steam, right? Like, if we start getting time skip designs in, and then he'll get his 3 hopes ascendant, because Felix is literally for a couple chapters kind of the main character besides Shez in 3 hopes. So I think this might have been his last real chance. Bernadetta has shown us that she can survive that. She's gonna have to wait a long time because of Engage, but she'll come back, I think. Felix, maybe he will, but I'm a little bit more worried for him and for his fans. Felix isn't my favorite character, so he wasn't where my votes were going, but it does feel bad for his fans, and I know for a lot of them they're disheartened with Engage because of it, and maybe not able to enjoy the characters as fully. That's really the big Heroes fans. Like, if you're not that big of a Heroes fan, you probably don't notice or care that much. But that's rough. Hopefully they get actual alts, and that makes up for not getting the Brave ult. Like, Brave is a really nice title, a nice celebration. Your Brave ult is Brave. Like, no matter what, no Brave unit is completely bad. Like, they all have their uses and the times that you can come and pull on them, and if nothing else, they get refines, right? So it's a big honor, right, to get the Brave ult or the CYL winners, but hopefully he gets a legendary and an ascendant hero or something like that to kind of pave the way. Maybe even a duo, just there's a lot that they can do with Felix and Bernadetta, because I think IS themselves knows Felix and Bernadetta have these huge fan bases that really want content, and they're just not getting it. Byleth and female Robin. Byleth male. I think he's a top 10 mainstay for the men's side. I don't think he's going anywhere. He's not going to go down. He might be lower than 4th, but I don't think he's going down past 10. I definitely don't think he's winning. I want to get into my actual, what I think results are going to be for a little bit chapter, but he, female Byleth is more popular, at least for heroes. I don't know overall, because I've seen polls that say different things. But for heroes, which is what matters here, female Byleth is more popular. Male Byleth did, though. He got 4th place, but the really interesting thing is he has more support than ever, which is huge, because I'll get to that in a second. Female Robin. I didn't expect her to win, and I said that in my pre-CYL video, which never got published because they did CYL so early, but I never expected her to win, because she doesn't have the following of Male Robin, and I think that she... She probably got quite a bit of love from the Crom fan base as well, but Male has a bigger fan base usually, and the Crom voters, and the Crom ship, and I think that maybe now Crom voters and Male Robin voters are going to go to Female Robin. Byleth kind of shows us that doesn't always work, just because female Byleth won doesn't mean Male Byleth is going to win soon, but he might eventually. Sigurd hurts, right, because Salif just won, and Sigurd's popularity barely changed. He went a little bit more, but, like, where's the camaraderie? Azura staying in 5th is impressive, because Azura, her big goal, people are voting for Azura because they love her and they want alts. But the big goal of people that want to win CYL, it was, hey, as long as female Corrin is ahead of Azura, Azura's not going to win. So they needed to get female Corrin to the victory so that some of those votes might go to Azura, and they did that. So female Azura had a big win. Well, obviously. Female Corrin winning was a big win for Azura as well. This is exciting. Alphonse top 6, man. I mean, you know, for a lot of people, this is their first, ever Fire Emblem game. I mean, you've probably seen the top 10. That's all I'm doing anyway, but for a lot of people, Heroes was their introduction to Fire Emblem. So Alphonse deserves to be up there. And if he makes it in one day, then I'm not even going to be mad. Like, good for him. Hilda has been around 5 or 6 repeatedly. She's kind of not moving, and she's probably going to stay about where she is. When Engage is added, she'll go down for a bit, I think, but then she'll pop back up. And I really thought she was going to win. I really thought that after Lysithea won, it was going to go to Marianne and then to Hilda, because I thought that the Golden Deer fans were much more coordinated than they actually are. I thought that they were going to get all 8 in, right? Just one every year, you just pull into the top. If they actually had, like, hey, Claude fans and Lysithea fans, you guys vote for Marianne, we'll vote for Raphael, whatever. They could actually have all 4 males and females from the Golden Deer in already, if they coordinated like that. So that shows you how scary coordination would be if we actually could do it. Sharena, she's been getting shafted in Heroes. Book 4 was supposed to be kind of like about her, and is also considered one of the least interesting books by a lot of people. I thought it was pretty cool because dreams and stuff, but the way the book was written wasn't the best, so that sort of takes away from it. And it's got that one really weird chapter where she starts crushing on Alphonse, but it's not really Alphonse, so it's fine. Yeah, that actually happened. She did get into the ending movie of Book 6, which Alphonse didn't. And she does have the 8-bit with Veronica in Heroes, which Alphonse doesn't. So she's got some love, but clearly people are saying she needs some more. I mean, she's barely below Alphonse. She's usually quite a bit below Alphonse, so this is big. If she doesn't get an ult, she might kind of get up there. Same for Alphonse. If he doesn't get an ult soon, I think they're both going to stay in the top 10. Black Knight, though, that's crazy. I knew he was going to be top 20. And when the interims came out, he was on it, so it's like, yeah, he's top 20. But this man is in the top 10. That's with already Soren winning the competition in 2nd place. But still, he still made it into the top 10. So that's crazy. That's Telius is going hard this year because Alencia is back in 8th place too. And she's usually top 20, but top 10 is pretty good for her. And again, with 2 other Telius reps in the men's side, it's crazy. Yuri barely in the top 8. Top 8 doesn't mean anything, first of all. I like it because last year they announced the male and female top 8 on day 1. So when the results came out, I was like, okay, who's the top 8? Who would have been said if they were still doing that? That's the only thing that matters for top 8. Otherwise, like, top 2 or top 10 are all that really matter. But yeah, neither of these 2 are surprising to me. It's just impressive for Alencia that she made it that high when Telius was already getting so many votes. And Yuri, I mean, he's kind of a sub-lord. Like, he's the DLC lord. He's the lord of the DLC chapters. So he could get in there someday. I mean, Shez's are also lords that might not ever quite make it, but he's doing way better than them. Leafs returned to the top 10 in like 5 years. After like 5 years, I think it was. Good for him, right? Like, lovable character. What else do you need? Tharja being 9th, I mean, she was 3rd place. And she was actually 4th place overall in CYL1. She beat Roy, but 2 men and 2 women, so she couldn't get in. And since then, she's almost always been in the top 10, other than CYL4, which was just completely overrun with 3 houses. So, getting in 9th, I mean, soon she might make it to top 8. Soon she's a mainstay, clearly. Like, she's always here. People really like her for whatever the reasons are. And one of my friends is a big fan of her, so I always have to support her at least a little bit. Sylvain and Awakening Anna. Sylvain dropped out of the top 8, stayed in the top 10. If his fans and Felix fans coordinated, they might actually have both won by now. But that's okay. Coordination isn't really a thing. CYL, there's like Twitter coordination that's happening. People on Twitter are like, hey, vote for Corrin instead of Azura. Or maybe on Twitter people are like, hey, vote for Salif this year and we'll vote for Sigurd next year. But those Twitter votes are like 1 to maybe even 300 votes. And usually that doesn't matter. But we're going to go into the numbers in a second. Awakening Anna dropped down quite a bit. She's been 3rd place before. Well, I mean, not from last year. Last year she was 10th place, but here she's in 3rd again. But when we're talking about numbers and what do they matter, do they not? The answer is kind of. I mean, 1st place overall is Male Robin with 18,401. Nobody who has ever won CYL. Look at here at 20,000 and some. Here, CYL 5, 31,000. Even, why are these all at the bottom? What did I do? Even here, 42,000. CYL 4 was huge. This is when bots were a thing. So that's the other thing. CYL 1 through 4, I think it was, have like actual botting problems. But still, 44,000. CYL 2, our lowest winner was 29,000. And CYL 1, the lowest winner, got 28,000. That means our lowest are 6 and 7, which is natural because there's the natural decline of games, but also the more characters that win, the more fan bases don't want to come back. Not every Chrom fan came back to vote for Robin. Some Chrom fans were like, cool, we did it, we're done. Not every Gatekeeper fan came back to vote for Abyss Keeper. A lot of Gatekeeper voters were like, alright, we did it, that was funny, we're done. And that's okay. Some people that voted for Gatekeeper didn't vote in the previous CYLs. He was big, like, rally character like that. And that's not cheating or anything. Fire Emblem Heroes Twitter account sets CYL up in such a way that you can rally support from non-players. It's an advertisement event. They want you to talk to non-players and non-Fire Emblem fans and get them into your character. Because if Gatekeeper won, maybe that means people really wanted to see Gatekeeper win, and even if you're not a Fire Emblem fan, now you're going to look into Gatekeeper because it's so funny to you, or, you know, whatever it is. So, it's not cheating to ask friends who don't play Fire Emblem to help you out. It doesn't always feel good to people whose characters lose out on it. Huge Crown fan. I felt that one. But it's part of the system. Like, it's what they want, when we're being completely honest. Anyway, after that, like, completely uncalled for opinion, that still puts Robin in 1st place, lower than anyone else who has ever won in the top 4, even the lowest person of the top 4. That doesn't mean the game is dying or anything like that. Again, Chrom voters aren't coming back. Even though some are voting for Robin, some of them are like, I got Chrom, I'm done. Salif voters didn't always come back for Sigurd, clearly. Like, some of them were like, cool, we did it, we're done. Tiki voters wanted adult Tiki, and then they gave us adult Tiki wearing young Tiki's clothes, and people felt cheated. Maybe they didn't want to vote for this year. Maybe they were burnt out. But also, because of Engage coming out, it makes sense why Nintendo did this. But CYL started 2 weeks early. That doesn't do much. I mean, people make videos for CYL. I made videos for CYL. People make art for CYL. They brag about it on their Twitters or try to rally up support. But if you're not watching the news every day for Fire Emblem Heroes, or watching YouTubers every day who talk about it, there's a really good chance you didn't see CYL. And even if you are watching YouTubers every day, a lot of YouTubers were late to get CYL content out there. So it's not it's not a bad sign for the game, it's a bad sign for this year. This year was handled differently. It's because CYL started early so that all 7 days of voting would be done by around the 18th, so that on the 20th, when Engage came out, we weren't talking about this anymore. And then we played Engage for the month of January. February 1st, we got the results. It was all done in a calculated way to make sure that when the game was brand new, CYL results weren't out and voting wasn't happening. Makes sense. Horrible voter turnout because of it. People weren't ready. I think what Nintendo needs to do is either set a standard. CYL starts January 21st every year, ends January 28th, and results come February 1st. Just a complete, like, here's exactly how it happens. Or tell us 3 days beforehand, even 2 days beforehand, hey, get your videos ready, get your art ready, get your rallies ready, call your friends who you make vote for you, whatever it is. Because that's what CYL's about. But if we don't have time to prepare those things, and it's never been a set date, it's never been guaranteed, but we were comfortable waiting until around at least like the 18th before we started worrying about it. Everyone was caught off guard. So that's on Nintendo for how they handled it, and it doesn't mean that the votes are like done. We just had one low turnout. That said, it did make things really freaking interesting, both this and the lack of rallies, because Robin and Soren are like 400 votes away from each other. 350. And that's really small, especially because, like, winners don't matter anymore. But, like, I don't know, one wins first place, and the one got second, and that's crazy. But the really big one is this Corin to Bernadetta. 14,369 to 14,252. We're talking, like, barely over 100. Like, 117, was it? And that's it. And that's the difference between winning CYL 8 or winning CYL 7 and being pushed back into CYL 8, where you have to face off against the Engage comers. And that's huge, right? So who do I think is going to win? CYL 8. Honestly, I'll make it quick. I think Engage is going to sweep. I do know that it's smaller than 3 houses, but 3 houses... This 3 houses sweep was pretty drastic. I mean, Marth actually did beat Lysithia, but just going through, like, most of this is 3 houses related. So, I think Engage is going to win. As for who, I mean, Diamond is really popular, and Ivy is really popular. Yunaka and Chloe are both popular, so it kind of depends on how time goes, who they side with, but Yunaka is a good shot. For the other man, I could see someone like Felix breaking in. If his fan base feels scorned for this entire year, then they might actually beat the Engage sweep, I guess. But I also think that Alfred, he's a male lead, and I think he's got a pretty good chance. He's really likable, especially as people get to the ending of the game. He seems to grow on people more than he does like in the beginning. And as Engage gets older and more people discover more supports, they care a lot more about the characters, because this cast is written, they're very hidden. Each character is like a real personality. So I think that in the future, Alfred will be looked on more fondly. Right now, he's already pretty popular, but that's more so like in the fans, and then outside of fans, I don't think he's like as big. Anyway, male and female Lear are also both characters, but like we saw with Byleth, just because you're an Avatar main character doesn't mean you're the first to win. I mean, even Corin, Camilla won years ago, and it took Corin this long. So I don't think male or female Lear is going to win. I do think they're both going to be top 10. Byleth isn't going anywhere. Male Corin might crack top 10, but I don't think he will in CYL 8. I do think female Robin will stay in the top 10, because she almost always has been. There's been 1 year where she wasn't. So, male and female Lear are both going to be here. I think female has a better shot at winning. People tend to like the female avatars more, Robin being a kind of rare exception. But then again, male Lear has the manga going for him, and I don't know, maybe over time people will warm up to him a lot. I think what helps female Lear this time is the leaks that came out. People had months to get used to the eye-catching design of Lear. Specifically female, people had months to look at that leak and be like, okay, this is the main character. Male Lear didn't have that, so people might kind of start to like that design more over time too. I don't know. But Either way, I don't think either's winning yet. I'd be happy if one does. I play male Lear because Brandon McInnes does too good with like the entire game. I really loved how he handled the character. So if I do vote Lear, it'll be male, but I think I would vote Alfred over Lear personally if I'm voting for Engage anyway, which I might not. Okay, but the fun thing I think is if it wasn't for Engage, who would be getting more support? And that's hard, right? Like Robin, so we know from Byleth, Avatar doesn't go to that same Avatar. Corrin votes aren't going to go to Corrin. Robin votes might not go to Robin. But some Robin votes are probably votes that people liked Lucina or people who liked Crom. So those people might go to female Robin. She's the other major Avatar. But I also think Robin votes have a pretty good chance of getting diluted through the pool. Because who do you ship Robin with, right? Like, not a lot of people do it. Not a lot of people vote for CYL based on ships. I personally gave Olivia some votes because I always marry Olivia to Crom. I voted for Crom. He won. Someone had to get my vote now. I could see Robin doing that. I could see some Robin fans going for people like maybe Tharja, because she's higher up, or really any girl in Awakening can marry male Robin, so that could get diluted fast. Soren votes? I don't know. I mean, I could see them going to Tellius, especially with Black Knight and Alencia being so high. Maybe they'll get pushbacks or push-ups. Maybe they'll stay really high up there. Maybe they'll get some help from Soren. Maybe some of the Soren fans are more so in the fact that Soren and Ike are like really close. Well, if that's what you're in it for, Yuri is an objectively bisexual male lead. He's actually the only male lord to be openly bisexual. So that's pretty cool. I think that Yuri might get some votes for that reason from some Soren fans, but probably not enough to push him into the victory position. If he gets there, it'll take a few years, and it'll have to be done with people like really warming back up to 3 houses after they've been a bit cold to it. Gulveg votes that I can't. How do I predict that? I don't know where they came from. I don't know what they like about Gulveg. I know snakes are pretty cool. Villains are pretty cool. Maybe they'll go to villains. Maybe they'll go to Black Knight next. If I was going to vote for a villain specifically, I'd vote for Walhart, but I also have a huge Crom bias, and Walhart and Crom are like, the Black Mirror kind of foils. So that's kind of where I think votes might go, but the really interesting character to me. Votes as a whole went down. So almost everybody got fewer votes than before. Unless you're winning, right? Or Gulveg. Interesting. If you're Gulveg, you got more votes. But almost everybody's votes went down. Robin skyrocketed from 11,000 to 18,000, but yes, we've all kind of known he's gonna get some of Crom's votes. But even then, female Robin went from 8,000 to 9,000, 8,700 to 9,000. That's almost nothing. So if it was really the 42,000 Crom votes going to Robin, female got 300 and male got 7,000. Yeah, the real story there is that, again, fewer people voting because their characters won. Some people who quit the games. And some people who just didn't know CYL was happening. Anyway, even female Robin barely went up. Soren, 17,000 to 18,000. Soren gained almost no votes. But still gained some votes as a winner. Okay, the crazy one too, though, female Corrin, 14,600. And in 4th place, well now 14,300, and in 2nd place. Most people are losing votes. Even one of the winners lost votes. One of the winners, Soren, barely gained any votes. Gulveg is a new character. Robin gained 7,000 votes. He gained a lot. He's the outlier here. But think of any character, right? Bernadette at 19,000. Well, this time she got 14,000, and she suffered for it. Hilda, 13,000. I didn't check her yet, but now 7,000. That's half. People aren't that bored of Hilda. I mean, she did get her 3 Hopes Ascendant ult, which might hurt her somewhat, but half of her fans. Alphonse, I think, might have gained. Yeah, Alphonse was in 10th place and went to 4,000. I think here people are like, wait a second, Alphonse has a chance at winning. He was in the top 10, and he went up. But most people on this screen are losing votes. Okay, now why am I hammering that down so hard? It's actually because I'm really interested in what's happening with this guy. Male Byleth. First off, I have to say, in Choose Your Legends, I am really annoyed that for 3 years consecutively, male Byleth won with his Enlightened One hair, because people prefer male Byleth to be enlightened. They prefer female to be pre-enlightened, male to be enlightened. Okay, male Byleth wins with Enlightened One hair, Enlightened One, Enlightened One. They took away the option to vote for Enlightened One, so he won with his default hair, but people wanted Enlightened One. That's the one that always wins. Very much not a fan of that. Anyway, CYL4. All of 3 houses is just added. Edelgard, Dimitri, and Claude sweep everything. They're getting like all of the votes for every character. Like everyone's going to them. Female Byleth got 35,000. That's actually incredible. Holy crap. These are her numbers: 69, 74, 59, 42. Bots are a thing. Bots are happening. We know that much. But still, 10,000 votes. This is during the botting era. This is when CYL was very much known for having bots. CYL5. Bots were just ended, but people were still creating false accounts, different like Nintendo accounts and voting, and some of it might have got caught. People were using bots to do that. CYL5 was more free from botting, but it wasn't like, because CYL 1 through 4, you could literally have your phone on incognito mode and just press vote, back, refresh, vote, back, refresh, vote, and like you could just do that nonstop. I'm sure most of that was flagged as fake, but there's no way they cleaned all of it because bots were known. Okay. From 4 to 5, bots are eliminated. Male Byleth gained 2,000 votes. 2,500, he got to 12,000. Okay, didn't work out for him. CYL7 happens, he goes down to 10,000, loses 2,000, also loses 2 ranks. So he's declining in popularity, which sometimes happens, right? Over the years, you start slowly slipping and losing fans. So next year, he should be about 4th place because the 2 people ahead of him got eliminated, and then everyone goes up. Male Byleth got 12,683 votes. So this CYL is not only early and therefore smaller. It's not only lost its bots, but it's also got just the natural decline of a game. And yet, male Byleth has more votes than ever before, like in his entire history. So does Soren, but Soren was a winner. Soren was projected to win. Corrin didn't. Robin, I don't think, did. I think that ever since CYL 1, Robin was getting... Okay, 14,000 to 18 now. This one he had even fewer. He dropped a lot because of the awakening bias of the early days. 16,000. Maybe this actually was male Robin's best showing. 8,000. Yeah, okay. So I take that back. Male Robin also had his best showing, but Corrin didn't, and she won. I don't know. I just think it's incredible that male Byleth actually gained more overall votes, even than when bots were a thing. But from last year to this year, he gained 2,000 votes, despite voting being early, and he wasn't a winner, and he got that ult in the middle of it. That does tell me that if this game goes on forever, if it goes on to even CYL like maybe 10, I think he'll win. I think 8 is going to be Engage. 9, there's a few characters above Byleth that'll win this year, like Felix probably will, and then below him, like Sigrid might win before him, even Alphonse maybe. But Engage has literally too many characters that could win. Diamant, Alfred, Alchrist is really popular, and Fagato people love. Tamara, Ivy, and then Hortensia and Saline. I don't think Hortensia's like the most popular character, but still, like, that's those 4 for each gender, and then the Illiers, and then popular characters like Louis, like Chloe, Yunaka. There's enough content for Engage to sweep for 3 years. Not the popularity, but enough content. Fates shows us that won't happen, right? Like Camilla won, and it's not like Xander won after her, and then Ryoma after him. It's not like we're going to go down the list. But those guys are going to be mainstays. I think that if Alfred doesn't win, he'll be in the top 10 every year. Byleth, though, he last major 3 houses character. Female one, and then, the 3 house lords one. But he's still gaining popularity. I think that next year's Engage sweep is going to lower him, maybe to, like, toward the bottom of the top 10. But after Engage, after, like, come CYL 9 and 10, I think he might win. Felix as well, I think, could win. especially because then we'll be getting so much engage probably, like in the app, that 3 houses bias and 3 houses fatigue might be worn down. And then other straight observations, right, that I've had. I know that a lot of people were pretty excited about this one, but somewhere in the 30s, 25 and 26, Shez. I play female Shez and male Byleth, so this is like the one time, I think, let's see. Actually, no, because I play male Robin, who's more popular, female Corrin, who's more popular. So it's really just Byleth and Shez. I think I was always accused of playing the less popular ones, but female Shez got a couple extra votes. She got to 34. Really, that's not what it's about. I'm actually really excited that Shez got that much support because I love Shez. And if either Shez ever wins, I will be ecstatic. I don't know if they can, really. Like, even at Suki and Chrom, main character of Tokyo Mirage Sessions are kind of an avatar more so, but technically main character. But Suki and Chrom didn't win ever after all this time, despite like their game getting shafted for like 4 years now. I don't know if Shez's are really gonna win, but I'm still gonna keep on giving them some support. But yeah, I mean, male Corrin did pretty well. The Avatar seemed to do pretty well. Chris didn't make the top 200 this year, but Chris is kind of one of those characters that people only sort of love. But I know Edward's somewhere here. Edward is the other character that I go for because my votes for Edward are just votes for, like, put him in the game, please. And there he is. 89. He's ranked 89 overall, and that's huge. That's big. I'm happy for him, really. That's all I've got to say. I hope he's added. I think that's the biggest Radiant Dawn character. I don't think it's the biggest Path of Radiance character, but Stefan, too. It looks like Radiant Dawn Stefan actually got more votes than Path of Radiance Stefan. Interesting. Oh, never mind. They just list Radiant Dawn above Path of Radiance, which is not what I would have expected. It's not like a problem. It's just surprising. Olivia is in rank 122. Like I said, I gave her some votes because Chrom's out, so I got to vote for someone. She got the 515. Wait a minute, 515. Why is that familiar? Let's check CYL4. Chrom. 595. That's not even the same thing. I'm trying so hard to force connections. I'm sorry. The 515 is just a number. It feels familiar to me for some reason, but you know. But yeah, Boyd is still performing well despite having a seasonal costume. It's young Boyd though, so it makes sense. People want like real Boyd, the Boyd we know and love. One last thing, my closing thought on this. On CYL7, not really. I'm still going to keep looking at this and looking at who ranked high, because sometimes if you rank high, you're more likely to get alts or added to the game, you know. But somewhere, I think in the top 400, yeah, Priam. 84 votes. This is in spite of being early and in spite of being added to the game. Priam's one of those characters that he was consistently like high-ish after CYL1. High-ish is in like top 200, but for kind of character that's in one chapter, that's pretty high. But people just wanted him in the game. I mean, he's Ike's descendant. He's got like the essence of Ike. He feels like Ike, and he feels like he and Chrom would be best friends if they had supports, but their support was the recruitment conversation instead, and that wasn't like satisfying. I want some way, even if it's like, 15 years from now, Awakening gets a remaster, add Chrom and Priam supports. They're such good characters. Priam's like a fun character. Chrom's someone I would argue is like a really freaking good character, then Priam's like, he's pretty fun. He's kind of a funny guy. But I like him. So I'm happy to see he still got 84 votes. 83 other than me. I did give him one, and I'm going to keep giving him one. If he ever did win, he's a hero, right? He's already promoted class in Awakening, so he doesn't really have any artwork for what he would be other than a hero, but like, throw him in Ike's garb, because people often wear their father or sister or their hero. They wear the garb of like people that matter a lot to them, so Priam and Ike garb would make sense. And yeah, other than that, we've got the typical like, what are my thoughts on what characters are going to wear, and I'm saving that for its own video because I could talk about CYL for 6 hours, but that's all I got for you. And thank you. Until next time.